the speakers. So.
My son-in-law and daughter were there with the baby. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for attending the special call meeting. I'd like to go ahead and get started. We're going to have public input to board meetings, and that's what this is about. 1.01, revision to temporary procedure for public input to board meetings. There's a recommended action to approve as presented the revision of the temporary alternative for public participation at meetings of the board trustees as passed by the Board of Trustees on May the 12th, 2020, to be effective during the governor's current state of emergency and any consequent state of emergency pertaining to COVID-19 pandemic. Thought it was very important that now that we're moving forward that we have as many options available to the public as we possibly can for them to come personally in person to the district and keeping in policy with social distancing. And we have all that implemented, as well as also maintaining the protocol for submitting written comments to allow input from those who do not desire to appear in person.
Madam Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I make a motion. What you read, the recommended motion, or I can read it.
Yes, sir. So I have a motion by Mr. Meek, and is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Michelle Goodwin-Caldwell. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion.
just for clarification,
Yes,
just for the record,
Mr. Webb.
that this in-person public comment period will be added to the current avenue of electronic communication that's already in place. So you have two systems now. I just want to make sure everybody realizes that the electronic opportunity will still be in existence, but this will just add another layer of in-person public comment. So.
And let me just give you some facts about this. Of course, it's limited to our regular monthly board meetings. We will maintain current protocol for submitting written comments to allow input from those who desire not to appear. Also, for those desiring to speak in person, they must sign up electronically or by telephone no later than noon on the day of the meeting in order to provide district personnel adequate opportunity to prepare in advance to ensure sufficient COVID safety protocols that are in place. Those speakers must arrive 15 minutes prior to the meeting, which is 6:45 p.m. Speakers must wear masks upon entering the building and at any time upon entry that they are not socially distanced from others. Speakers will undergo a temperature check and answer the COVID screening questions required of those entering school facilities. Speakers will be placed in line spaced 6 feet apart from those in front of and or behind them. Dependent on number of speakers, the line may extend outside the building. The order of speaking will be determined by the order in which they arrive. The microphone and podium will be cleaned between speakers. All current perimeters in place in board policy regarding public comment will be in effect, including that the allocated time for all speakers will not exceed 1 hour unless the chairman reopens the participation period for the public comment at the end of the business session. And due to space consideration and in compliance with social distancing, as soon as a speaker completes their remarks, they must leave the building as directed by district personnel, ensuring appropriate social distancing is maintained. So the motion on the floor is to approve as presented the revision of the temporary alternative for public participation at meetings of the Board of Trustees as passed by the Board of Trustees on May 12, 2020 to be effective during the governor's current state of emergency and any subsequent state of emergency pertaining to the COVID-19 pandemic. With that being said, there's been a motion to approve by Mr. Meek and a second by Ms. Michelle Goodwin Caldwell. At this time, there's a question. Ms. Wells?
Yeah, just since we're talking about this, I think when we passed this, we had no idea we were this long. And so I guess I just have a question about the governor's current state of emergency and any subsequent state of emergency. So he still has us declared in a state of emergency. And is that a continuing order?
And I don't have it in front of me. There was one earlier this September, maybe a week ago, and that it runs for 30 days. So as he's done throughout the summer and the spring, he's issued new orders throughout that would extend the state of emergency.
Okay. And so do we still believe that using that as our marker for when we sunset this policy makes sense, seems in line with what we need to do?
I think it would be reasonable. I also think that if it's necessary to revisit it, at some point, the board could do that as well. You know, if there is no longer a state of emergency, but the board still wants to tweak their process or change their process, then you could have that discussion at that time.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, Ms. Wells. At this time, all in favor, please address by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion carries. At this time,
Motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn by Mr. Meek, seconded by Mr. Sailors. All in favor, please address by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion carries. We are now adjourned. Thank you.